happened. But in the January 2026 news poll, One Nation has officially, finally, overtaken the Liberal Party in primary vote support. 22% to the coalition's record low 21%. So this is actually what it looks like for all the names. When we look at the primary vote of the first poll 2026, we have the Labour Party well ahead at 32%. We have One Nation 10 points behind them on 22%. Yeah, the Liberals, again, at an all-time low, or I should say, the totality of the coalition all-time low of 21%. The Greens on 12%, and then others, including independents and other minorities, on 13%. You can tell this is a historic news poll for a number of reasons. First of all, this is the first time in news poll history that one of the two majors has polled third place behind another third party, that being One Nation, which you can't even really call a third party anymore because it's one of the top two now. This is the first time in news poll history that we have had three different parties all with more than 20% support. And the combined primary vote of the Coalition and Labour at 53% is the lowest support for major parties in news poll history. Now, what's interesting is one thing this poll did not do was produce a two-party preferred estimate between either the majors and One Nation. The reality is, looking at these numbers, even though that's incredibly impressive for One Nation, that vote is hyper-centralised, well, it's going to be, if this might be real, hyper-centralised in more rural areas outside of cities. So the estimate coming from news poll on this is that even though One Nation is polling ahead, the eventual two-party preferred result will still be between the Liberal Party and the Labour. And on that front, the Labour Party is still astounding ahead of the coalition. The projection from this poll is that it will be 55-45 again. Basically the exact same result as what we actually saw in last year's election. Now, I should note that that is down over the last year since the 2025 election. Labour has polled as high as like 58% compared to the coalition in the polling. But if we consider this a bad result for the Labour Party, they are still projected to win the next election by more than 10 points in the two-party preferred. Look, we've seen One Nation polling well in some of the smaller polls, some sort of less reliable ones, even like level with the coalition, but I never expected, at least not this quickly, to see in news One Nation not just match but overtake the coalition to become the second most popular political party in the country. And just to sort of add to the confusion, it's so unusual that One Nation is doing that, and the coalition is collapsing so completely, dying in front of us. But at the same time, the Labour Party seems to be in an absolutely solid position when it comes to the next election. They are polling 10 points of their closest competition. And in the two-party preferred projections, they are set to win another landslide election in 2028. And I think this all comes down to the fact that this civil war within conservatism in Australia has to have an outcome at some point, because as long as it just continues, it's essentially ensuring that the Labour Party is going to win 2028 by default. Conservatism in Australia has never had to deal with a situation like this, at least never to this extent. There was a bit of it with John Howard and having the rise of Paul against the first time back in 1998. Of course, there was, we should always get to the 1998 Queensland state election, for instance, comparison with One Nation, both the Nationals and the Liberals. But on a federal level, this degree of support for a third party and a right-wing third party kind of just makes the whole thing kind of collapse in on itself. I often think back to the 2025 election and what it proved, and I think the biggest takeaway was what the actual political landscape is. And I think the core of it is that there are 45% of voters in this country that will just never vote. We saw it in the 2025 election. The worst Liberal candidate ever, an incredibly uncharismatic and terrible opposition leader, so they didn't get a seat. And even in that scenario, when it was the worst Liberal proposal for a government ever, they still got just under 45% of the two-party preferred vote. And I think that's really like the ceiling for Labour. They really shouldn't go any further than that. But the problem is, the right wing of Australian politics, whether it is One Nation or the coalition, is that they need more than that core 45%. And look, this hasn't traditionally been a problem for the left. There is division between the Labour Party, the Greens, and the centre-left to the left of the Australian political spectrum. I know some of you are going to say that Labour is actually a centre-right party. I just want to say, just go with it. Okay? You have Labour and Greens. They basically have like an established perfect agreement with one another, that their preferences flow back and forth. And that's why Labour can form government, even though you have a party that's holding between 10 and 15% and taking really right-wing votes, because there is that agreed upon take by both parties that they think that each other are a better option than the coalition. But I don't think that same agreement will necessarily work between the coalition and One Nation. If you have coalition voters who stick in with the coalition, but they won't vote Labour, but they're also not going over to One Nation, it's probably because they're centrist-minded, centre-right people who can't really stand Labour, but also think that One Nation is utterly insane. So I honestly don't think it is a Labour versus One Nation nationwide conflict. But there'll be this perfect scenario for Australian where potential inner city voters say, you know what, yeah, actually, I do think calling is way better than the Labour Party. I just do not see it. And there is going to be an inverse problem. If the Liberal Party does make the final two in like the nationwide PPP and in a lot of seats, there's an issue that I think a lot of people aren't focusing on. That is the fact that if there is One Nation support to the degree that it is shown then the competition, the real competition that we see, the bloodiest and most brutal campaigning will be between One Nation and the coalition as they fight tooth and nail for support from broad parts of Australia. And I think that is going to be a lot of animosity. I'm imagining a situation like you've seen a lot of the teal seats, particularly the ones in Sydney, where in the TPP, the two-party preferred vote count after 2025, Labour was actually winning. And I've always suspected that a large part of why Labour is winning the two-party preferred count in these incredibly rich Sydney seats is because people like the teams, particularly disaffected Liberals, and part of their message to the Liberal Party was that they were voting for the teams and then putting the Liberals last out of spite, even below Labour. And I imagine that if we get to a incredibly fiery campaign in 2028, where particularly right-wing voters are very frustrated with the state coalition and very enthusiastic about the nation, we could see a similar situation where these remotivated One Nation voters, out of spite in trying to send a message to the coalition, start putting them last in their preferences. I'll be honest, I've seen a lot of people particularly worried about this situation, looking at this and saying, oh my god, look at the rise of One Nation. But nothing so far has proven that this current reform where it seems that one of these two parties is going to have to fight the other to take over is in any way going to lead to an actual federal election victory. All we've seen over the last couple of months is One Nation and the Liberal Party stabbing each other and killing each other for the support of Australia's right wing. And all we see is what that is doing is alienating middle Australia. So until we actually see some form of mass appeal from either One Nation or the coalition form somehow, that they can stick together a broad electoral coalition where they can get majority support from Australians, which they have not shown at all, then I think what we should really be doing when it comes to 2028 is wondering, will Prime Minister Albanese run again in 2030?
I'm Matthew Patrick, aka Matthew, and this is my last meal.
Every person has exactly two things in common. We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. You might recognize today's guest today, or perhaps film theory, or perhaps style theory, or perhaps food theory, or perhaps from your local retirement home. Hello, Internet! Welcome to MatPat's last meal. MatPat, well,
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry that we didn't have this meeting beforehand, otherwise I could have given it the chance to do it. With that intro like that, you got the growl in there. Hello, Internet. It was great.
I practiced that about 6 times until I realized that the 7th might make my throat bleed.
Yeah.
Is that the Broadway training that kept it so fresh?
That is a great question. I just found a comfortable way to do it, and I could do it all day, all out, because it's not complicated.
We've been watching way too many videos of you talking about YouTube analytics, and this is absolutely true. Y'all just saw a new intro where we didn't tell you what his last meal was because we were worried about retention drop-off if we told you the entire last meal. So you have already fundamentally changed the face of this show.
I noticed that, like, I was not given the roster of things that I'm going to be eating, which I'm like, oh, that's weird. I wonder if they filmed that after the fact. But maybe this is a new structure that they're using.
Even through retirement, you are still mad that
I live on. Yeah, it's my lingering skill.
You are a very analytically minded person.
Too much, so it's terrible.
Does that increase you for your death or decrease it?
The analyticalness of it doesn't really weigh in. I'd say my type A personality really factors in, where it's like, oh no, I wish I could control this. You don't have an idea of like how long I have left and how I can maximize my time. I used to be that obnoxious kid that went around college being like, oh, your personality is represented by a muffin flavor. What muffin flavor would you eat? And so, like, my friends knew to expect these awful questions, and one of them was like, hey, that's Rowan. You could choose any way you could die.
But also, if you're optimizing your life, now you have the ability to make that happen.
Right, exactly.
It sounds like a Mr. Beast video, if that's really taking it to the extreme.
We're going to some dark places today.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
We literally just started. We don't know what I'm eating, and we're talking about like the optimized way to die. This is pretty intense.
Matt, that's your first course of your final meal. We have the jalapeno roll, and then we have a dozen oysters with all the condiments. We got prepared horseradish, we got a scratch-made mignonette, we got the cocktail sauce, also made from scratch. The tiny little bottles of Tabasco.
They're so cute. They're adorable. Got some fresh lemons. Little cheesy Tabasco. This looks so better. I've watched your shows like that. I don't know how people make it through the whole meal because every dish looks fantastic.
You gotta Google it. You gotta open the mouth, open the throat. Because we're not leaving until all these oysters.
Oh wow. Okay. I look at this and my wife and partner Stephanie will be so jealous because she's the person who got me both foods, both sushi as well as. But no, I grew up very scared of food. You know, in Millville, Ohio, home cooking was really a rotation of fast food. My family wasn't really adventurous eaters, and so it wasn't until college that I had my first bean. Like an actual like bean dish. I was scared of beans. So my wife Steph, friend of the time introduced me. She's like, hey, this is a restaurant. You want to take like a little this bean dish? I'm scared of beans. But I tried it. I'm like, it's like literally like a grain of rice sized bean. Like, I thought this girl was cute, and I'm like, I'm gonna pressure my bean. Got him. So, pro tip to anyone out there looking for try a bean. The bad I know, right? I'm talking this entire time. I've completely butchered my sushi roll. Please don't judge me. I know the internet's gonna rake me over the coals for this.
Well, fix it in post. Something I yell all the time and nobody does.
So that's the most extreme food that Stephanie has gotten me to fall in love with is character.
These are tough for a lot of people who have food taste. Did you eat one yet?
No, I haven't done
These are kushi oysters. These are probably my favorite oysters. They're a lot smaller, but they do look a lot sweeter.
Where do they come from?
More, I believe kushi is off of
Oh, wow.
I think sometimes they find them in like Pacific Coast.
Wow, that's incredible.
My favorite fact about oysters is that because of the climate crisis, the waters are warming, which is actually probably the season oysters. There's recently an outbreak going on. It's only caught a couple bodies. But I think we'll probably go. So, what's your ideal way to die? Because mine truly is getting poisoned by acorns and raw oysters.
Do you really want to go out like hovering over a toilet?
Oh, there's gonna be no toilet. I'm just going out to the woods. Lay down some leaves, strip me naked, let me do what I do.
He died the way he lived. stripped naked in the woods, vomiting his guts out. I watched as long as I could, and then I had to turn away because I was starting to lose my mind. Oh my god.
I want to talk about your retirement.
Wait, don't give it away. You asked me a question. No, you're pitching the roles. It's all right. I'm here to double up.
We'll run it back, but then we have to both like do like a fly intro. Okay, so it's like a... How do you want to die?
So how do I want to die? It's not very exciting. It's just like quietly in my sleep, laying next to Steph. Well, are you talking about hour of...
何の用？ああ、聞こえないぞ。どいつもこいつも逃げ足が速いな。
Mankind News. Duel 1. Let's rock.
最強。 い大統領かけま
Duel 1.
今だ
What would you say if this way you could be with me? No matter where you are or how far apart. It's easy to begin. To meet me, just log in. Surfing the web together with you. A virtual world so shiny and new. Just you and me, baby, sharing our love for this new technology. Yeah. What would you do if I could see you and you could see me? On your computer screen in full HD. Connecting everyone, just dial up and have fun. Jumping the world together with you, a virtual world so shiny and new. Just you and me, baby, spreading our love for this new technology. It's made of wires, yeah. Magic, it's like magic, magic to some, science to me. Magic, it's like magic, magic to some new technology. Magic, it's like magic, magic to some, science to me. Magic, it's like magic, magic to some new technology. That's 1, 2, 3.
Duel 1.
Bye.